Namaste. Namaskaram. If I were to say to you that your ascension is a divinely timed event, how would you interpret that? How would you understand that statement, that your ascension is a divinely timed event? It is divinely timed through the heavens, through the activities of what takes place in the heavenlies, through the planets, through the galaxies, for all of the goings on in the cosmos, that our ascension, our integration, the coming into possession of our higher self as it ascends over the lower animal nature and frees ourselves from the pain and suffering of the old earth energy. Ascension is the realization of the commitment to eradicating the human suffering paradigm. The ascending energy is the truth that brings higher awareness, dismantles falsehoods, and allows for deeper understanding of your Atman, yourself, your spirit self. It liberates from lies, the coming into possession of your Atman, your higher self, your ascension, your integration, liberates from lies, illusions, and the conditioning truth holds immense energetic strength as it cuts through false people, beliefs, your own conditioning ego, the ego-driven desires that you think are what you're all about. There's an intensifying energy on this planet that is palpable. And today, January 20th, when Pluto, the planet of transformation, stations in Aquarius for the next 50 years, on this ascending planet will be one of intense transformation and recalibration. This all begins in the energy of New Earth, 2024, January 20th. This new energy is going to be vastly different. And as we move forward as a collective, we will become increasingly aware of the divide, of the collective divide, of the bifurcation, the widening around us. The new energy on this planet is unpredictable, and making plans will often lead to having to change them. As you dedicate yourself to transforming your inner world, your life swiftly shifts from the ordinary and mundane to the metaphysical and extraordinary realms of heightened conscious awareness. As this energy takes hold, this new energy is vastly different than anything that we have ever known, because the age of Pisces was the age of belief, of dogmatic, of institutions cramming down your throat what you're supposed to believe. And if you got out of line, if you weren't a good sheeple, then you were ostracized and you were condemned to hell. That was the age of belief. We are now in the age of knowing. As of today, the 20th of this month, 2024, we are in the age of Aquarius, the golden age. And part of that, in fact, the foundation of that, this age of knowing, is knowledge. So if I were to say to you, dear, esteemed, honorable, noble, and notable viewer, as in your name has been notated in the book of infinity, that your ascension is a divinely timed event, what would that mean to you? It involves astrology, it involves the heavenlies, it involves things such as Pluto entering into the age of Aquarius. Now, I've compiled some notes from the Quantum Bible that I'm going to share with you. The Bible itself contains the strongest evidence in favor of astrology. Despite whatever your pastor, your priest, or whomever in your life is gaslighting you about, oh, astrology, oh, the occult, oh, that's of the devil, that the occult is all evil. No, I'm going to give you what the Bible tells about astrology and knowledge. because this is the age of the knowing. This is the age of Aquarius, the age of knowing. And one whole book of the Old Testament was written by a man who held the office of chief astrologer at the Babylonian court under Nebuchadnezzar, and Belshazzar, and continued in that office until the first year of the reign of Cyrus. I can see the weakness of a man right through his iris. I was raised in the reign of King Cyrus. This man was Daniel. His very name has an astrological flavor. Astrologers call the analytical and predictive part of their work the judgment of the horoscope. And Daniel means God is the judge. Competent astrologers are well aware that in reading a horoscope, something more is necessary than experience, something that goes deeper than literal interpretation of rules. Without intuition, without your knowing, without your discernment, your divine knowing, that still small voice that the Lord whispers to you, the same voice that he whispered to the prophet Elijah in your intuition, is your knowing, is your power, is your God force, is your God self. No astrologer can succeed without that intuition. And intuition is really the inner instruction of the all-knowing spirit. The omnipresence of God necessitates his real presence in human personality. And those only who have established contact with this inner source of knowledge as the great man of knowledge, Vasamazulu Baba Credo Mutwa pronounced it, knowledge, are fully qualified for astrological judgment. The story of Daniel shows that from his youth he was accounted one of the leading astrologers at the Babylonian court. It shows too that he cultivated assiduously the attitude of receptivity to divine direction, which is indispensable to proper judgment of a horoscope. In the second chapter of his book, which deals with one of the greatest long-range astrological prophecies ever recorded, he reports himself as saying to Nebuchadnezzar, "The secret which the king hath demanded cannot the wise men, the astrologers, the magicians, the soothsayers show unto the king, but there is a God in heaven which revealeth secrets, and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days." As a reward for his success in interpreting the king's dream, Daniel was made master of the magicians. This was his official title, and according to the translation of the authorized version, but the original text calls him Rab Shartomia, master of the astrologers. Now, the Mosaic law is specific in its decrees against certain kinds of evil magic. The 10th, 11th, and 12th verses of the 18th chapter of Deuteronomy says, "There shall not be found among you any one that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that uses divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto Jehovah." Persons who confine their biblical studies to English translation, which is the majority of everyone that wants to come and leave comments like they're Bible experts, often cite this passage in condemnation of astrology. But Daniel certainly must have known it, and yet he had no scruples against being made chief of the Chaldean wise men, who are described in the King James Version as magicians, astrologers, Chaldeans, and soothsayers. Daniel risked his life again and again rather than violate the Mosaic code. We must conclude, dear esteemed viewer, then, that the practices of the Chaldeans involve no transgression against the law of Moses. This conclusion is justified by an examination of the original text in Deuteronomy. The word translated divination is kesem, Q-E-S-E-M, kesem, meaning any method of judging by lot, such as the fall of dice or arrows, the inspection of the entrails of slaughtered victims, or the observation of the flight of birds. Observation of the times has nothing to do with astrology. The word so translated is anan, A-N-A-N, and it designates those forms of magic which are intended to give the magician control over evil spirits. Now, the word translated enchanter is nakash, N-A-C-H-A-S-H, nakash, closely related to another noun of the same spelling meaning serpent, and used in the story of the temptation of Eve. The modern Egyptian snake charmer is such an enchanter, and the practices of such persons have to do with the misuse of psychology and gaining undue influence over others, usually through fear or through perversions of the power of suggestion, such as are common in modern high-pressure salesmanship, propaganda, and patent medicine advertising over the radio. Persons have to do with the misuse of psychology in gaining undue influence over others, usually through fear or through perversions of the power of suggestion, such as modern-day organized religion control freaks, pastors who seek to promulgate religious trauma. We are in the age that liberates from lies, illusions, and conditioning, from the control paradigm, the enslavement protocol of organized religion. That is what the battle of this new going forward will be: control over your knowledge, control over your spirit, which is really your soul, because everything with its natural order is loving and devoted. Ascension service, from Ascension going forward in this age of Aquarius, is all about knowledge. The Piscean karmic age cycles are dissolving, concluding, over with, kaput, finito. The new age of Aquarius, the new earth kingdom, is all about your internal compass and migrating towards those similar energetic structures. But we must shift our priorities from the outside world of where we're being gaslighted and told what to believe to your own inner knowledge and discernment. And it is my belief that a person should be in the practice of study, of digging deep knowledge, to be engaged in the cultivation of knowledge, to shift their priorities towards cultivating inner peace. That is how I find inner peace, through the discernment of knowledge, comfort, safety, joy. By embracing your higher vibrations, you connect with the gratifying and harmonious aspect of yourself, of your Atman, and all aspects of life align with your higher self, which is your divine path. When you live in authenticity and abundance, live in authenticity to your own voice of discernment, and abundance will flow from divine infinity even. Embracing unconditional love, prosperity will flow from the source of intelligent infinity. Now, surrendering to that voice of discernment, surrendering to that inner nudging, this plays a significant role in the ascension process. Letting go of comparisons and competition coming along, and people trying to gaslight other people because of their beliefs, of their heartfelt, what they're sharing. These are constructs of 3D conditioning in the collective matrix. Letting go of all that also involves releasing feelings of unworthiness. Releasing feelings of unworthiness in everything that does not support your ascension to higher levels of self. It means moving into higher timelines with a focus on personal interdependency and releasing outer codependencies. This ascending planet is about the collective, the new earth, the golden age, the energies of Pluto and Aquarius. There is only one. All multiplicity of beings and their sense of separateness or distance from one another are either an illusion or represent a less than ultimate truth. And we find our ultimate truth in knowledge. Namaste. Namaskaram.